Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays with the occasional bonus live video. And a lot of people don't realize that you can subscribe for free. It costs you guys absolutely nothing. All you have to do is just click that little red button, and it will tell you when I post new videos, so it's really a handy tool to have. You can also join my Facebook group because I post my new videos in there, and we do a lot of really fun things. We like to show off our crafts, and there's going to be some fun prizes and things like that in the group and some exclusive things. Now today we're going to talk about the Santa's Magic Key. Now there are a ton of different ways to do this. Last Christmas I showed you a way with like an old brass key and a little bag. This year we're going to do them with some really cute acrylic blanks and some ribbon and glitter. This is really fun to do, and it's easy, and you can really personalize these. I had a lot of fun making these, so let's go over to Design Space because I'm going to show you guys where to get the little Santa's Magic Key tag SVG, and then we can glitter them, and I'm going to show you guys. I promise this is super easy to do and really fun. The tag that we're going to use and the key that we're going to use are both from 651 Vinyl. So they offer the SVGs for both of them. So what you'll do is you're going to go to the 651 Vinyl website, and you will go over here to Blanks. Click on Acrylics, and once this loads, you'll see that there's going to be a link right here. Click here to access our download page for SVG files that match our acrylic blanks. So we're going to click on that guy, and what we're going to do is find the Santa's Magic Key, which I believe is just called Santa's Magic Key. Let's see, Santa's Key. Yep, here it is. So Santa's Key. Click on that. And it's going to ask you to go ahead and save the SVG document. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now what you can do, you can always just open it really quick just to make sure it's what you were looking for. So this is our key. You can absolutely decorate your key. The one that we're going to do, you saw, it was just glitter. I didn't want to decorate it. I just kind of felt like glitter was good. But that's how you can get your key. And then for the tag, it should be down, and I always forget what it's called. If you ever have a question on what it's called, you can absolutely ask in the group, or you can go back to the page for it, and it should tell you what it's called. I can't remember. Let's see. Here it is. Gift tag for Santa Key. So they typically call them something super easy. So gift tag for Santa Key. So we'll click on that because we're going to need that one. This might yell at me because I've already downloaded it, but nope, it's going to let me. And then when we click on that one, we can just double check that that's what we're looking for. And this is the one that we're going to use. So now that we have it, what I'm going to do is go ahead and close all these because we don't need any of this open anymore. So we'll go into your design space. You're going to click on upload. You'll see I've already uploaded it, but I'll upload it again for you guys. So we'll click Upload Image, and we're going to browse. Now, the nice thing is because you've downloaded this, it's not in a zip folder. You don't have to do any of that type of thing. So we know that it was called Gift Tag, so we can scroll down to our G's and find it simply by looking for Gift Tag. And it should be, oops, I might have scrolled too far. Should be right around here somewhere. Sometimes it goes missing, and I can't always find where I hid it. And sometimes you just have to search for it. So what we can do is look for and see if we can find it this way. Sometimes you just, my computer's weird and loves to make things up and likes to make things and put things where it feels like they should go and not actually where I tell them to go. So we'll just see if we can find it under Santa and see if we can find it that way. Yep, there it is, Santa's Magic Key. It didn't want to find it under Gift Tag. That's okay. So Santa's Magic Key. So it's going to load two files. You're going to get the one that has all the cutouts on it, and then you're just going to get a plain one, which could be really fun if you wanted to do like a patterned vinyl, but we're just going to use this one because we're going to use UV resin for this. So go ahead, click on Save, and I'm going to show you guys how we can take these apart. So you're going to select it. You're going to click on Insert Image, and then you'll see that you have two of the tags. Do not resize them. They are already sized to what you need to cut. So we just don't need this black one. So we're just going to use this little eyeball and hide it. Now we're just going to click on Make It, and it's ready to cut. We're going to cut this on some vinyl. I'm going to show you guys how to weed it, and then we're going to show you guys how to use the UV resin to put the glitter on the key and on the tag. want to do is peel off the one side of the protective layer that you're going to work on. That's usually going to be blue or white, or it could look like a brown paper. And then you're going to get some UV resin. This I got from Amazon. I will link it below. I like this one. It comes with a nice bottle. It's easy to use. And then you're going to get some glitter. I'm going to use the StarCraft glitter in one of their gold shades. Forgive me for not remembering the name, but I will look it up. But it's one of their holographic gold in the fine line for them. And it's really, really pretty, and it's easy to work with. I have my keychain sitting on a silicone mat just to protect my surface in case anything gets on it, especially with the UV resin. But to glitter it, I like to put it on a piece of paper so that I can save any glitter that is not used on our keychain. So what I'm going to do is put a pretty healthy dollop of UV resin onto our keychain, and I like to do it in a couple different areas. You don't want to put like a huge glob all in one spot, or it's going to spread out and you're going to have it falling off the edges. So I'm just taking my silicone brush and I'm just pushing around the UV resin a little bit so that it goes all the way to the edge on my keychains. You want to do pretty slow, and you want to keep an eye on what you're doing. You don't want to push it so far to the edge that it rolls off. The nice thing is the UV resin doesn't really want to roll off the edge if you put enough on. If you put way too much on, it's going to just fall off the edges. But I don't put a lot on for the first layer because you don't need a lot. So it's really easy to do. And you want to be careful of the hole for your keychain. So I try to use very little up there when I'm putting the glitter on. You can also purchase, and I'll find the link for them, these little stoppers that you can actually put into your holes to keep them from getting any UV resin in them. Because if you get UV resin in them and it cures, you're going to have to drill it out, and it's kind of taking a risk because you might crack your acrylic. So as you see, I'm just spreading the UV resin all over the key, just making sure that it's fully covered. I'm going to wipe off any additional UV resin that's on my brush onto the paper. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a decent amount of glitter on here. You don't need a ton, but it does help because you're going to want a pretty nice even coverage. So I'm just going to sprinkle a bunch all over my key. And then once that key is fully coated, I'm going to make sure that I don't pick it up or do anything with it, because you can take any of that loose glitter and put it back into your jar after you've cured your UV resin. So it's important that you don't tip your keychain while the UV resin is on it. So I'm going to turn my UV light on. I will link this light below. I put my key in for about 4 minutes per side. It was too wide to fit under my UV light on the side, and I'm showing you guys that because it was really weird. So I just put half of it under my light. So like I said, I do about 4 minutes per half, and then I let it cure. So once it cures, we can put our second coat on. I've let that one cure, the first coat, and now you're going to do a second coat. And your second coat is going to have a lot more UV resin in it because you're going to want to use quite a bit to get that domey, glassy top to it. So I did put quite a bit on there. There's no real way to give you guys a measurement on how much. It's just kind of trial and error and learning how to do it and just practicing. So again, all I'm doing is just spreading that resin around with my silicone brush. A lot of people will use a butane torch or some sort of heat gun to pop any bubbles that they may get in their UV resin. I did not do that with this one. I didn't see a lot of bubbles when I did this, but you definitely want to consider that if you're making a lot of these and you do get a lot of bubbles. That's just something to keep in mind. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you like this new angle. We got a new camera set up, and I'm trying it out to see if we like it. I know my head's kind of in the way in a couple spots, but it's really just at the bottom. But let me know what you guys think of it, this overhead shot. It's kind of, just like I said, it's a new thing, so let me know what you think. But as you can see, I'm also being super careful around the hole for the keychain to go through. And I just used the tip of my brush, just the little corner, just to kind of push that UV resin around. It's really easy to do, and you just want to make sure that you're taking your time, covering every inch and going all the way towards that edge, because you want to make sure everything looks nice and neat and clean. And this is just a really easy thing to do. Once you've practiced it a little bit, you'll be a pro. I am not a pro yet, but I do love making these. These are probably one of my favorite things. I will say if you are sensitive to smells, make sure that your room is well ventilated because the UV resin does have a smell and it is pretty strong. So I made sure to have my window cracked and I did have a fan going at the same time. So again, we're going to put it under and let it cure again. And while that one's curing, I'm going to go ahead and apply the Santa's Magic Key to our tag. So what I did was pulled both sides off of the protective film and I just set my acrylic down onto my vinyl. I find it a little bit easier to line it up that way. I can't ever get the vinyl to line up correctly if I try to put the vinyl onto the acrylic. I prefer to set the acrylic down onto the vinyl. And just like anytime you apply vinyl, you're going to want to squeegee it down. And then I'm going to put my key back under for another 120 seconds. This light has a timer for like infinity on, which is annoying because I forget it sometimes. 60 seconds and 120, so I just do two 120s. So there is our Santa's Magic Key on to our acrylic. You can see easy peasy, really simple to do. Now we're going to do our Santa's Magic Key where we did the vinyl. I want to make sure to cover the vinyl with UV resin so that it's protected, it doesn't get scratched or nicked or pulled off by little hands that may want to play with it. So again, we're going to put a heavy dose of the UV resin on this because we're only doing one coat of UV resin over the vinyl, and we'll do the glitter on the back of the keychain. Now, I will tell you, I had to make this twice. The first time I made it upside down, and I accidentally glittered the front so that the Santa's Magic Key was backwards, and it didn't make any sense. Thank you to Miss Ashley Jones of Ashley Jones Creates, because she was a lifesaver telling me how to get the resin off. You can actually, if you get resin on and you accidentally screw it up, you should be able to take like an X-Acto knife and just pop it around the edges of your UV resin and pull off your UV resin, and then your keychain is saved. She was able to tell me that. I was able to get it off, and then any of the sticky residue left behind from the vinyl, I just used Awesome Cleaner from the Dollar Tree to clean off that sticky residue from the vinyl, and I was able to reuse my tag and fix my mistake. So just be careful and kind of pay attention to what you're doing if you are doing the UV resin on your keychain. We are now going to do the back of the keychain with our glitter. So we're just going to do just like we did with the key. You're going to put your UV resin on in a thinnish layer, and then you are going to put your glitter on. For this one, I am using a fine white glitter by Nicole. This was purchased at AC Moore. We're going to put that last layer on to our Santa's Magic Key. And again, this is going to be a bit of a thicker layer of the UV resin, and it's just to protect your glitter layer. Here is the finished Magic Key. You can see both sides are nice and shiny and glossy, super easy to do. And then there is the key in gold. I love the way they came out. So next thing that we're going to do, just to add a little more magic, is put some ribbon on there. I got this ribbon at the Dollar Tree last Christmas, I believe, and it looks like a little Santa's belt. So all I'm going to do is just loop them together and tie a little knot. Now, again, if you guys watch my videos, you know I am not a bow tire. I cannot tie a bow to save my life. So I just kind of made a loop. If you are somebody who can tie a bow, bless your heart, because I cannot do it. And you can add a bow. You can add lots of things to make this special. Bells, tinsel, lots of fun stuff to make these special for your children or your grandchildren or your neighbors or pretty much anybody who maybe doesn't have a chimney. Because if you don't know, the Santa's Magic Key is for children who don't have chimneys. So how does Santa get in their house? Well, an easy way to explain it is that Santa has a magic key that can open any front door and let himself safely into your home, and he is the only one who has it. That is how it was always explained to me as a child, because we didn't have a fireplace. I hope you guys had so much fun learning how to make these. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's totally free to subscribe. Would love to have you as part of our family. And if you are interested in joining my Facebook group, that link is down below. We do lots of fun things in our group and have some exclusive cool things for group members. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy crafting.